Hi everyone. Ooh, I'm excited today. Today I'm taking you with and we're going to make chicken vegetable soup using Thrive Life ingredients. I'm really looking forward to this one. I have a whole series of soups planned to go with all the different Thrive Life ingredients I have. And today we're going to start out with chicken vegetable soup. Simple, easy, and fun for your whole family. We'll be back. Here we go. This is going to be simple and easy. Here I have a couple of quarts of turkey bone broth. You can get chicken broth if you want. That's fine, but I have home canned. I'm going to add that in my big jar, in my big pot. Then we're going to be adding more water, but to this big pot, I want to add some of this chicken broth mix. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of that. In the end, we're going to be adding 5 quarts of water. So we want to make sure that we're adding the amount that we need. And since there's 5 quarts in here, there will be 5 quarts in here, and we're added 2 quarts of turkey. That's 7 quarts all total. So 2 tablespoons of chicken broth. I use Better Than Bouillon or this Orrington Park Farms. I love these guys. And then we're going to mix the broth and the broth mixed together as much as possible. Then we're going to add our 5 quarts of water. We'll be back. Now we've added our 5 quarts of water. Make sure we get it stirred up. Now some of this stuff you don't see mixing in is the oil from my turkey broth, my home canned turkey bone broth. That is fine if you're using store-bought broth. You probably will not have that oil in there. Alright, now that it's all mixed up, we are going to add our veggies. Alright, we want half a cup of the mixed bell peppers. If you're doing, you can do this with all fresh ingredients also. If you're doing fresh ingredients, you're going to want 2 or 3 peppers diced. And we're going to add a cup of green beans. Half a cup of peas. Half a cup of corn. I love these little corn snacky packs. We got half a cup of corn. Half a cup of celery. I know everything's half a cup, isn't it? Half a cup of cauliflower. Actually, let's make that a whole cup of cauliflower. Cup of cauliflower. Now, the green onions and the regular onions we're going to save until right near the end, right before we actually can, because those barely take any time. 1 cup of potatoes. I love these potatoes. Look at that. 1 cup of potatoes. And then 1 cup of chicken. There's our chicken. Then we're going to add our spices. Now for spices, in here I have 3 tablespoons garlic powder, 2 tablespoons onion powder, and 1 tablespoon pepper. That goes in the pot. And then in here I have 1 tablespoon fenugreek, 1 tablespoon turmeric, 1 tablespoon kale powder. I dehydrate this and powder it myself. You can use parsley, you can use oregano, you can use Italian seasoning. The choice is yours. And then I have half a tablespoon applewood smoked sea salt. You can use any kind of salt you want, but we like to have just a nice added flavor of the applewood sea salt. And then it goes in. We're going to mix all this up and get it going. We'll be back. Alright, now we've got it turned on medium-low. And we're just going to mix everything up. And we're going to let it cook down and slow boil for about an hour. Just enough to get everything rehydrated and started coming together. And then we'll dish it up into our jars and can it. And we will have home canned chicken and vegetable soup. Now we will add the chives and the onions right before we start dishing it up into our jars, because they hardly take any time at all to rehydrate. So we add them at the last minute. For now, we're just going to let this cook on medium-high for about half hour to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, until all the vegetables have just started to get beautifully rehydrated and nicely incorporated and cooked. We'll be back. Alright, it's been 45 minutes of a low, gentle boil. And look at that, see? Ooh, steam. Okay, look at the big cauliflower pieces. How much they've come back. Now, my daughter came to me and said, "Mommy, it smells so good. I want some." Look at that beautiful cauliflower piece. How much it's come back. She told me she wants to have a bowl of this. Now, if I was just straight canning it, it'd be done now. Because as you can see, the celery, focus, the celery. See how it's only about halfway rehydrated? I don't know if I can get it to zoom in properly. See how the juices haven't quite soaked in all the way? Now, if I was canning it, it'd be finished right now. And we'd pull it out and we put it in our jars. But my daughter decided she wanted a bowl of the soup. So we're going to let it cook and boil for about another 20 minutes till it's completely rehydrated. I'm going to give her a bowl. And then we will can it. We'll be back. And there we have it. The soup is all done. The vegetables have cooked all the way through. Some of the peas are even starting to wrinkle. Some of the corn is starting to re-wrinkle. You know how when you cook corn a long time, how it wrinkles? Well, when you first open up the Thrive Life, it's all wrinkled because it's freeze-dried. And then it puffs up and gets nice and poofy, as you can see with some of them, when it's done cooking. But some of them are starting to re-wrinkle now that they've been cooking a while. And cauliflower looks perfect. Oh, that is so beautiful. Look how nice and tender that is. Alright, we're going to turn this off and dish up a bowl for my daughter to eat. And then we're going to put the rest of it in jars. We'll be back. And there we have it. A bowl, a beautiful bowl of chicken vegetable soup for my daughter. I wish we had smell-o-vision. It smells so good. I hope you enjoyed this. Or I hope you do enjoy this because it looks so good and it smells so wonderful. We'll be back to get this dished up, not this bowl, but the rest of that all dished up into jars so we can can it. We'll be back. Alright, there we go. 6 jars and 1 pint. I would have had 7 jars, but with my daughter and my husband, they ended up eating a pint, so I don't have it. We would have had 6 quarts. Now, like I said, we're going to wait for the chives and the onions till right before we can it. So here it is. We're going to put in a teaspoon of chives into each jar. And then a teaspoon of onions into each jar. Alright, now we're going to take our washcloth. We're going to dip it into our apple cider vinegar water and clean the rims to get them ready for canning. See how the chives and onions are already starting to rehydrate and sink down? Alright. Then, lids. And then into the canner these will go. We'll be back. Alright, 7 jars in the canner, ready to go. We're going to put the lid on this and get it going. I will bring you back when it gets up to venting so you can see what it looks like when it vents. We'll be back. See how the button has popped up over here? And we've got full pressure steam coming out. We want to let it vent for 10 minutes. And then we'll put our pressure, our weight on it. We'll be back. And there we go. It's been going for 10 minutes. So we're going to take our 10-pound weight. Because of the altitude that I am at, we use 10 pounds. And we're going to wait for this to come up to a jiggle. Now, because there's meat in this, we're going to do it for 90 minutes. You always want to do it according to the longest ingredient in whatever it is you're canning. And for us, it's meat. So 90 minutes. I'll come back and show you what this looks like when it's processing and jiggling. We'll be back. See the even jiggling? That is processing. So now we're going to set the timer for 90 minutes and let it process for 90 minutes and we will be back. There it is. It processed for 90 minutes and I turned it off and now that's going to slowly come down to a stop. Ow, this is really hot. And then we're not going to touch it. We're not going to move it. We're not going to mess with it. We're not going to touch this or wiggle this or touch the buttons or anything. We're going to let it cool down and come down all on its own naturally. We'll be back. And here we have it. The button has popped down. This has stopped jiggling and there's no more forced air that comes out. So, all we're going to do is open it up. And always open it away from you because there will be steam in it and you don't want to burn yourself. And then we're just going to let it sit for 5 minutes to come a little bit more closer to room temperature before we remove them from here and set them on our cooling spot here. We'll be back. Alright, here we go. It's been about 10 minutes that they've been cooling. And as you can see, we have boiling. And that's really important. That's a good sign that you have gotten your jars up to proper temperature. And then what we're going to do is let these sit and cool for 12 hours before we move them and label them and put them away. I'll bring you back when they're all cooled off and ready to go. There we have it. 6 quarts, 1 pint. I would have had 7 quarts, but my husband and my daughter ate it. Of course, it's going to settle because the vegetables always settle the bottom. But now you have simple, easy soup for your family just to pull right off the shelf and eat for lunch anytime they want. And it's better for you than any of those store-bought soups that you buy, because there's no extra added chemicals or preservatives in this at all. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up down below and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see anytime I upload a new video. Thanks for coming along, and I hope to see you next time. Remember, everyone, stay positive. Bye.